The development and operation of conventions follow a clear process involving several stages. First, the development of an international maritime convention follows a structured process under the International Maritime Organization, IMO. It begins when an issue is raised, usually by a member state, a specialized agency, or an observer organization, highlighting a safety, environmental, or operational problem that needs international regulation. For example, concerns about oil pollution or unsafe ship operations can trigger discussions for a new convention or amendment. Once an issue is identified, it is forwarded to IMO's committees, which are the Maritime Safety Committee, MSC, or the Marine Environment Protection Committee, MEPC, Legal Committee, LEG, Technical Cooperation Committee, TC, and Facilitation Committee, FAL. These are the core decision-making bodies responsible for maritime safety and pollution prevention, respectively. MSC has also oversees several subcommittees, including the Ship Design and Construction, SDC, Ship Systems and Equipment, SSE, Human Element, Training and Watching Keeping, HTW, Communications and Search and Rescue, NCSR, Implementation of IMO Instruments, 3, and Carriage for Cargoes and Containers, CCC. While MEPC oversees subcommittees, which is Pollution Prevention and Response, PPR. These subcommittees perform detailed technical studies, draft regulations, and propose amendments or new conventions. After thorough review, the draft convention or amendment is submitted to the IMO Assembly, the highest governing body consisting of all member states. The Assembly debates and, if agreed, adopts the convention or amendment by a formal resolution. Once adopted, the convention is opened for ratification, acceptance, approval, or accession by individual governments. Below are the explanations for signature, ratification, accession, and denunciation. A signature indicates a country's preliminary endorsement of the convention but does not usually make it legally binding. To become fully committed, the country must go through ratification, which is the formal act of approval by its government after completing domestic legal or parliamentary procedures. This step ensures that the country is fully prepared to implement the convention's requirements. Some countries join later through accession, which allows a state that did not originally sign the treaty to become a party after it has entered into force. This method is common for states that decide to align with international standards at a later stage. For example, Malaysia ratified the Marpol Convention in 1997, even though it was entered into force internationally in 1983. Finally, a country also has the right to denounce or withdraw from a convention. Denunciation is a formal declaration by which a state ends its participation in a treaty, usually by submitting written notice to the convention's depositary, such as the IMO or ILO. For example, CLC 1969 Article 16 has stated the conditions of denunciation, which 1. The present convention may be denounced by any contracting state at any time after the date on which the convention comes into force for that state. 2. Denunciation shall be effected by the deposit of an instrument with the Secretary General of the organization. 3. A denunciation shall take effect 1 year or such longer period as may be specified in the instrument of denunciation, after its deposit with the Secretary General of the organization. Malaysia ratified CLC 1969 on January 6, 1995 and entered into force on April 6, 1995, and denounced it on June 9, 2005. This system of signature, ratification, accession, and denunciation ensures that countries join or withdraw from international conventions in an orderly and transparent manner, maintaining global consistency in maritime law. Since shipping technology and safety practices evolve quickly, existing conventions must be regularly updated, which is amended. IMO uses 2 types of amendment procedures, the classical procedure and the tacit acceptance procedure. Under the classical method, an amendment only takes effect when a specific majority of member countries accept it, which can take many years. To speed up this process, IMO introduced the tacit acceptance procedure, where an amendment automatically enters into force after a set time unless a certain number of countries object. Lastly, enforcement. Each flag state is responsible for ensuring that ships registered under its flag comply with international requirements through regular inspections and certification. At the same time, port state control officers have the authority to inspect foreign ships visiting their ports to verify compliance with IMO conventions, while flag state control officers oversee vessels under their own national registry to ensure continuous adherence to safety and environmental standards. For both port state control and flag state control, the most serious action that can be taken is the detention of the vessel. However, such cases typically do not proceed to court. The Marine Department Malaysia, through Malaysia Shipping Notice, MSN 36/2010, reminds shipowners of the importance of full compliance with international conventions. Any Malaysian vessel detained under port state control in a foreign port for serious non-compliance may face cancellation of its certificate of registry, while surveyors who fail to identify such deficiencies may be disqualified from carrying out future inspections. These measures aim to safeguard the reputation of the Malaysian Ship Registry and ensure continued adherence to international maritime standards. Malaysia enforces international maritime conventions through national legislation. The Merchant Shipping Ordinance 1952, MSO, governs ship registration, crew management, and navigation safety. It incorporates several parts of IMO conventions such as SALAS, MARPOL, and CALREG, ensuring ships carry the latest legal publications under Section 81 of the ordinance. Failure to comply may result in fines up to Rm 25,000 per ship. To strengthen maritime law enforcement, the Maritime Enforcement Agency Act 2004, Act 633, established the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, MMEA, often called the Malaysian Coast Guard. Under Sections 6 and 7, the MMEA enforces federal maritime laws including the MSO, the Fisheries Act 1985, and the Exclusive Economic Zone Act 1984. It operates across Malaysia's entire maritime zone, covering internal waters, the territorial sea, the continental shelf, and the Exclusive Economic Zone, EEZ. These enforcement powers bridge Malaysia's international obligations with national implementation. In conclusion, the International Maritime Convention forms the foundation of safe and sustainable global shipping. By working together under these conventions, we make sure that the oceans remain safe, secure, and protected for everyone. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.